Good evening. Um, One of the things that I have been thinking about in my head is, you know, how close to historically accurate can we be to our past? Um, we have to realize that there's been a lot of Christians that have done everything that they can to destroy paganism. There's going to be so much stuff that we'll never know. We're guessing, we're poking, we're guessing so much about this, and we're trying to fill up all these holes. So we have to make these leaps, okay, I think they meant this, or I think they meant that, and that's what we use. And so, is everything that we use historically accurate? No, it's not. It is impossible, in my opinion, that we would ever be close to being 100% accurate and trying to say that we're following the old religion, because let's face it, the Christians done a really good job at destroying a lot of it. Now, the reason why I bring this up is because of another thing that I have been thinking about, and that is creating your own path, which a lot of us do, but it's also creating our own magical, not language, but system. There is the old school ritual magic, and they have this very highly structured system, and it does work. But sometimes what we find out is some of these things don't work for us. It's like the runes. I mean, so when I say runes, you already are picturing them in your head of what they look like. And more than likely, you are looking at the Norse runes. And that's great if you're Norse, but what about everybody else? And so, like the Celts, they have the Agam and such. And so, we try to use what we have available. But what about creating something unique for ourselves? Can we or should we do this? And my response is yes, I think we should. You got to do what feels good to you here in your heart and here in your head. If it doesn't feel right in these two locations, it's not going to work for you. I think of the movie Willow, when I forget when Willow had to do that magic test, and he was asked a question, which finger is the most powerful, and he picked one of the teacher's fingers, when the true answer is one of your own. And when it comes to spell work, sometimes, or most of the time actually, using the words that somebody else wrote is not as effective as words that you wrote yourself, because you are using your thoughts, your energies, and you're putting them on paper for this spell. You are creating this. Or as you're reading somebody else's words, there is not as much energy into it as, like I said, what you done if you would have created the spell, the wording on your own. And so, why can't we do that for other things? We make wands all by ourselves. We try to make things fit our view. So why couldn't we create our own runes, our own magic symbols? Why do we have to follow the old ritual magic school book to a T? Interesting question, huh? I myself have been trying to rework some magic, because what I've noticed over the last 20 years is that everything has turned into this light, happy, wonderful, love spells, rich spells, and all that. And there is nothing about this person fucked me over and getting some revenge spells. There is been a loss of, I know vengeance is not the right word, but spells to fight back with. Somebody casts a spell at you, you banish the spell, break the curse, and, that's all we got. What about doing something more? Well, there is no foundation for that. And so that is what I'm working on for myself. And why couldn't you do the same thing? I mean, we have, you grab like Cunningham's books and a few other people's books. They have all these different symbols. And when you go look at everything, it's like Earth could have 10 different symbols that represent it. All the other elements could have all these different symbols. Which ones do you use? Well, you find the one that works great for you, or you figure out something that works good for you that you create. And by doing this, you put your energy into it, and it makes it more powerful. And what I find more interesting is that there is the simple fact, a spell is a personal matter. And so if you create this spell, this chart, this item using a system that you created on your own, then you don't have to worry about, somebody sticking their nose in it. Oh, this is what you're doing, because if it's unique to you, only you can figure it out. Nobody else can counter it because they don't know what that means. So it's something for you to think about. I would love to hear some feedback on this, so take care. See you on the next video.